Hello and welcome everyone. This is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and today I'm here with a match I happened upon at RTS Sanctuary between Mythic and Kimo. The history of this match is that Kimo has been claiming that Mythic is actually avoiding him, and well, that would be an interesting claim by itself, and well, Mythic has caught a glimpse of it and definitely wants to put the matter straight and play the player just like that. So Mythic is, as you well know, one of the best players today. Whereas Gaia is kinda up and coming, he's also pretty decent, and well, we should be seeing a pretty interesting game, especially looking at the good choices here. Yeah, Magic Bank can play literally everything. He's best with his Aegis, but also pretty good with Zeus and basically literally anything. And well, he chooses Gaia. So we are definitely in for something very interesting. And Kaimo, well, he is an Aegis player. Basically, Aegis main doesn't play anything else all that much. And well, out of the Aegis, he is much prone to play Ra, exactly as in this match. We are playing this on Wobbly Balance patch 104, which means that there are quite some different things going on for the gods, especially for Gaia, so she shouldn't be as bad as she was before in the normal version of the game. So let's see if she will be up to the match, especially with Magic handling her. So let's start on the Ghost Lake here. So the first to have a look at right now is Magic, who is spawning at the top as a blue player, having a pretty decent amount of goats, as obviously is pretty usual on this map, and well, he is already casting his first forest, and it's on the left, and it seems like that he's actually wanting to make use of this wood line here, and basically make a bit of a wall, connecting possibly with this straggler and protecting his gold, which is a pretty good idea, as obviously early protection is going to be quite important for him. Yeah, he doesn't even know how good actually the forest is, so that's all the more a reason why he actually wanted to make the forest exactly like this. So he's a bit lucky, and yeah, he will need to make just a bit of a wall in here, and he will be quite protected. I would be expecting that Dara will probably go for some faster heroic age, possibly with 2 TCs, switching into Migdal pretty soon, and Chariot Archer Radiant, which is usually what happens, and oh well. This is absolutely great play from Magic, and you really have to love this. This is so nicely played. Usually there's a bit of a problem for Atlantean citizens that they are actually getting quite a lot of damage due to their low rate of attack against animals, and well, right now you can see the Legion received none damage at all, none at all, and this was so sweetly played, and yeah, this is also going to make the villager all that less prone to some kind of radiant and whatnot. Now first relic in the middle, which is for better villager farming rate, that would be actually pretty great for the opponent. For Kaimo Azara, obviously, as he has the rain and whatnot shenanigans. And yeah, let's see if he is actually going to be discovering this. So we should be keeping an eye on this relic. Another relic is on the right, that's just 2 on this map, and that is for better house and manor hit points. And that's actually pretty useful for the guy, obviously, because of the manors as a protection, especially right next to the hunt in here. So nice placement and very, very good relics on this map. So let's switch out the Fog of War yet again. He sees both of the TCs that are relevant to Magic right now, and he also sees quite a lot of gold on the left. So it's kind of unfortunate for him, because he would definitely prefer to have the third TC about here, so that yeah, he could be developing on the left safely. And it's going to be quite a different, rather difficult decision making for him, as he will have to actually make sure that he protects this TC and also the left part of the map, which is not ideal, but I kind of think that Magic will be up to the play and up to the game like that. So let's switch into Kaimo, as we are at 2.5 minutes of the game. It shouldn't be resulting into any kind of advance into the next age yet. You can also see that he's already working on walling himself in through some houses, and of course going for another mining camp for better efficiency of gold gatherers in here. And he is also finishing with the power on the right, and it seems like that this tree line is actually pretty sweet for him. He doesn't know yet, but he's probably guessing that the darkness is going to be continuing, and it definitely is. So, oh, I was going to say that it's actually pretty sweet for him, but it's actually pretty terrible, because it's cutting the TC of him absolutely, completely. And that's really, really bad for him. But looking how he's he should be pretty comfortable with just 2 TCs for the early stage, and yep, for other gods it will be much worse, but at the same time, it's not ideal at all. So he's developing to the left with extra boards in here and some extra berries together with the gold. So that's pretty nice placement. And you can also see that Magic is very nicely positioning his oracles on the left, right next to the TC. And on the right, we have already seen this guy. having a bit of a scouting next to the TC on the right, and yeah, he kind of thinks that he has seen enough, and he is positioning the Oracle a bit more offensively and trying to find some villagers from his opponent. Otherwise, looking at the gold placement, it's quite heavily, if you have a look on the map, on the left side. That's quite interesting to see, because obviously usually you see it a bit more spread out, so there are actually 6 gold mines on the left. That's very interesting to see, whereas on the right there are just 2. One are next to the wall and another in the middle. So this is basically all the more telling that the left part of the map is going to be quite more important, especially for the red player. So Leto is already in from Magic, that's 4-minute advances pretty soon, and he seems to be going for it quite offensively, as he's probably going to be trying to stop his opponent Kimo on the left, building the town center, which is very clever play and also very important, so let's see if he's going to succeed. And that's basically because he has seen that the right TC is cut off from him, from his opponent, and yeah, he has definitely decided that the left TC is going to be the one that will be taken by the player. Kimo is just right now trying to make sure that the towers are protected, as he's advancing. We have seen that a bit earlier from Kimo. Yeah, he's halfway into Ptah, but is he actually ready to go for the TC? He doesn't have the resources yet, but probably will be very soon. Also having quite a lot of idols, but just for a moment, as he was finishing with the bar. And well, somewhere else on the map, but not much happening, as possibly he was hoping that he can get the very important relic for him, but probably not going to be successful at that. Yeah, those Turmas should be taking care of that quite nicely. So, nicely played and nicely controlled by Magic so far, as he's having all 3 forests so far in his own base, with the military buildings as well, and he doesn't have any counter barracks if I see this right. Or rather, the other building. He's having just counter barracks for the Turmas. That's quite interesting. So he's not even going for some Turmas, or rather for some more mills. And well, that's definitely telling you that he is intent on some raiding and going, or rather taking the game from there. Some automaton making sure that he is close by if actually the villagers are going for the berries very soon, which they probably will be. But otherwise, not much happening. Pharaoh finally dying, and yeah, King Kimo will be hoping that he can get his pharaohs soon, and without any kind of lasting damage to his economy. He is also building a bit of a classical Age army, as is basically needed, as he's under attack, and well, is going to be under some kind of heavier attack from his opponent with the Turmas. And let's see what units actually is he building. He's so far going for Spearman, which is kind of interesting choice, or rather good choice against Turmas, but maybe I would be expecting a bit more of actually slingers, as they would be slightly better in defending in here. But well, he's hoping that he can actually push his opponent off of the TC altogether, and well, he might be just successful at that. Let's see. He still also has the shifting sense, of course, and he seems to be going for another barracks. And yep, he's definitely not thinking about advancing into the next age anytime soon. That's also kind of glimpsed from the amount of resources that he is right now having. So Magic is arriving at the main battlefield that is going to be coming here, whereas at the same time he is going for a second TC himself. And oh well, this is very nicely played by Kimo, who has been going with the Veget from the right side, and he's definitely going to be disrupting the TC building in here. And is it actually going to force him? Yeah, I was going to say that it might be forcing him to go for actually making a hero out of the villager, but with the shifting sands, that's a bit of a problem for Magic, because he is losing the villager, and that was quite nicely played by Kimo. He has not just disrupted the TC building, which is very important, but he has also killed the villager. But right now he doesn't seem to be paying enough attention, as he's getting killed by the Oracle. But look at how the Oracle was faster anyway. Yeah, it's going to be... It was just a question of time before the Veget was dead. You can see that the Magic is really going for it quite nicely, as he's controlling the count centers of his opponent and limiting him very nicely, and at the same time he's going for 30C, and oh well, this is going to be a quite nice move from him, and very bad going for his opponent Kimo, who is right now switching into Rain and hoping that he can potentially advance into the next age sometime soon. He has almost the gold, although he doesn't have the barracks yet, I think, or rather the armory for the advance, sorry. Yeah, he doesn't, so I'm not exactly sure what the plan right now is, but he definitely wants a boost into his economy and potentially go in for the TC sometime soon. This is also very interestingly played by Magic, because this basically is limiting the only goal that is right now that is right now available to his opponent Kimo, as he doesn't have any gold on the right side. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the very start, that the left part of the map is going to be quite important to control. Kimo has been attempting to stop the TC from being built. Well, he did delay it a bit, but not really all that much, obviously, as Magic was paying enough attention, and he does have enough turmas. And since he cannot really do anything with his opponent in this base, yeah, this was pretty much all that he could make. Yeah, you can see even the spiders making their job known right now. So, attempt to act the TC is being made by Magic, or rather by Kimo, because Magic has left this part of the map, and it might be uh, well, no, it's not really misplay by Magic, because he was having to actually defend against Raiden on his TCs, and look at how he has actually denied his opponent for quite some time. We are at the 9 minutes, and usually when Ras actually go for the second TC, they are going for it quite a lot earlier. Basically right after the advance. Well, that has been denied quite successfully, and the Kimo is at the back foot quite strongly, and Magic is right now at 3 TCs, quite nicely booming right there. So let's see if he can actually make proper advantage, or rather take proper advantage from that. He is right now gathering the very important relic. Now let's switch into Magic. That's the one for the farms. Yeah, that's the one for the farms, which is very important for him to take, because that would be a huge bonus for his opponent Kimo, who is very reliant on farms very early on. So yeah, you can see right now that he's quite nicely preparing his economy, whereas he needs to be careful on the left, as he was trying to develop for the gold. But yeah, he was caught on there, exactly as Magic was trying to do to his opponent, and yeah, that's a bit of a problem for him. At the same time, it's not that crucial problem, because he does have one extra gold at the bottom, which he knows about on top of that, and I kinda think that he might be wanting to develop through the right side, because he will be controlling the gold, which is enough. The second gold at the bottom, which he knows about as well, and it's also going to basically allow him to go for the TC of his opponent and basically control him even more. So I kind of think that Magic is aiming for very professional map control so far, and let's see if Kimo can somehow, with the 2 TCs that he right now has, will be able to somehow overcome this. Yeah, you can see that Kimo is also having to actually cut down the trees. So that's very nicely played by Magic, who is denying the gold gathering in earnest, and this is literally the only gold that right now is in power of his opponent Kimo. He does have one that is on the left, but it's not protected by anything. Kimo right now going heroic through Hathor, whereas Magic is not advancing yet. And well, let's see, but the Migdol is actually going. He might be going a bit more offensively into it, basically trying to capture the TC, looking especially at the army on the left that is right now raiding his village's economy. And yeah, this is a position where he could be going for the right, but he attempts to go for the left, basically trying to protect the home base that he right now has as much as possible, and that is not a bad choice, but because if he can protect this part of the map, he will be securing both the goal and the TC, and basically not allowing his opponent to go here anytime soon. And also it will allow him at least some kind of measure of trade route. He could be building markets at least here, and even though it's not really long and not really effective, it's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, that would be it. Bit of a raid-in. Bit of raiding in here through Petrukos, and of course the rock, which is very nicely executed because he has already killed the villager in here. And even with the protection of the spider lair, this is very nicely positioned by Magic, who is protecting the economy on here, and he has also protected the TC on the right. And well, he is also looking to capture the next relic, which is about the better house and manor hit points. On the right side, there's a bit of a raid-in attempted by Kimo, because he's trying to basically establish what is happening on the map, and well, he has already discovered that his opponent Magic is trying to capture the gold on the right and also on the left, and well, this is nicely played from Magic yet again, as he is playing to the map quite nicely. So let's see if this is going to be enough for him, if Kimo will be able to somehow overcome this problem. Right now Magic going for the TC, whereas there's still quite a lot of raiding going on in Kimo's home base, as Magic is trying to raid him with the Turmas that he is still having in there. He's also sending some extra units in, some extra Turma reinforcements with, yeah, Murmilot that didn't really get all that far. But look at how Kimo is finally having the Migdol and switching into the strength of Ra, and that's Migdol units. Well, this is probably not going to end all that well for Magic. Yeah, so those camels are probably going to be finishing with the job very soon. It's going to be just a matter of moments before all those guys are pretty much dead. And well, yeah, unfortunately for Kimo, I don't really think that he's aware that his front TC is being stolen. Yeah, he's absolutely unaware, and he's just right now seeing only this one automaton, and that's definitely not going to tell him enough. Bit of a problem for him, as he's basically allowing Radiant inside his home base. Through, they can through wood line on the right, but looking how the tower is here, it's probably not going to be all that problematic for him all that much. You can see that Radiant from the Petsucos is actually switching to the right, but look at how Magic is paying enough attention. He is on top of the problem, and yeah, seems like this Ras Rock is going to be coming down very soon, especially looking at the hero Turmas right now. And can he actually catch it? Well, before he does, oh, that was at the very last moment, because that was almost finished. You can see that was like 100 hit points from being finished, and even though he's going to pay with the life of the rock and also the Petsucos in here, he has been able to deny the TC kill to one villager, and the second villager with 10 hit points is basically dead as well. And this was literally 5 minutes to the noon. Well, nicely played by Kimo, and bit of a problem for Magic, because yeah, his strategy right now is being disrupted. This Migdal is going to be quite important, because it is going to serve exactly the same purpose as the one on the left, protecting the base and also the TC. And if he can finish with it, he is going to be denying the TC to his opponent quite successfully. But let's not call it today yet, because there's quite a lot of fighting going on by Magic, who is trying to basically disrupt exactly this. And even though I would be guessing that the Migdal is coming up, yep, the Migdal is up, there's going to be a lot of losses for him, for Kimo, if he doesn't pay enough attention in here, because you can see that he's not even garrisoning inside, and he's hoping that he can actually use the villages to potentially fight a bit. But no, right now he is denying it and going to the right, and oh well, he needs to deny the TC, come on! oh well, that was as well as he actually played at the very start, denying the TC. That was a misplay by him, because he was standing idle with the villagers for quite some time, and if he was a bit faster to go for it, he wouldn't be able to actually finish. Magic wouldn't be able to finish with the TC, but right now he did, and he's going into heroic as well, and yeah, bit of a problem for Kimo, who is right now going to probably use the villagers to try to take it down. With the extra upgrades into villages, of course, he's having the skin of Rhino, so they are having better health attack and better armor. He's going to be in a pretty good position to take it down without any extra army, and you can see that he's also switching into a bit of offensive raiding, and let's see if that's going to be successful. He's so far denying a bit of a gold in here, but looking how Magic is also, of course, having quite a lot of gold on the left as well. Yeah, he has literally a lot of gold mines in here. He is still in a pretty good position and doesn't have any kind of problems if this gold is not his anytime soon. Looking how the DC is going to be coming down for Magic, yeah, that's not really going to be having all that much of an extra time in this game. We'll be seeing if he has enough resources. Kimo, he does just about now. Well, he doesn't even need to go for it, because looking at how he's actually not that pop, he needs all that much more Migdals actually to build a bit more army for himself. And yeah, that would be pretty much the better choice, I think, building yet another Migdal in here, just securing the DC, not allowing it to be captured for him. And yeah, well, he actually cannot, because of this green lush by the Gaia, and yeah, he needs to wait a bit before that dissipates, before he can actually build here. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem for him, and a very nice and underappreciated bonus of Gaia. So yep, let's see. Actually, the red player recuperates from that. He's right now trying to steal the gold, which is interesting. Oh, okay, he doesn't know about the gold at the back. That's why. He doesn't know about this gold. That's why he's making this very interesting choice, or rather, very bad choice from our point of view. But from his point of view, it's actually the only choice that he can make, because he doesn't know about the, oh my, the good gold at the back, and that's a lot of problems for Kimo. And really, he needs some extra fire support in here, because without that, he is in a bit of a problems, as those Stinfalian birds are going to be quite powerful for him. And look at how he's finally going for the TC. Rather than the big gold, it seems like he's stabilizing with the population limit, so he needs extras in here, as Magic is having 3. That's a correct decision, and let's see if that's going to be enough. Looking at the destroyers, which is of course the unit of choice against Stra. Stra usually are going for quite a lot of chariot archers. This might be a bit problematic for him quite soon, but look at how Magic doesn't seem to be having enough push right now. He is having just one palace in here. He seems to be waiting for the better moment to go for full-on offensive. Mark is being built on the right for for Kimo, whereas on the left, rather on the top side, we don't see anything from the blue player, but he seems to be going for a bit of a left trade-in and potentially disrupting this gold gathering in here. Going for the right of the bet. So that's very nice timing. As he was expecting that once the gold on right is right now being denied quite successfully, he's going to be switching to the left, and yep, this is exactly the correct thinking, and Kimo won't be having easier time getting gold on right than he is having on right. Rather on the left than he's having on right. Still a bit of a problem in here, but with the wood line blocking just right side, you can already see a bit of idles. It's not going to be all that much of a problem as the gold is already gathered from and almost finished. But look at how, yeah, yet again, he doesn't have the gold in here. He needs to do something on the right side, because if he doesn't, he's in for a bit of a problems, as obviously. Without gold, Eggy is pretty much toast. So right now the Migdal seems to be coming down, as yeah, I can see that Red is having all kinds of troubles actually dealing with the destroyers, and well, since he didn't have any kind of support, he is really in a pretty tough situation, as he needs to do something about this problematic situation, as even though he is having 45 TCs, the trade route is coming through the battlefield, exactly through the middle of it. He needs to somehow cut through the wood line in here and potentially allow some better walking route for the camel caravans in here. Yeah, pretty bad problems for him, as the Stimfaliambers seem to be basically concentrating on taking down all the economy from him, which is nicely played from Magic, and he seems to be quite nicely recuperating on the right side, as for a moment it looked a bit grim for him. Not any longer though. A bit of a raiding attempted by Kimo, who is trying to disrupt at least the economy of his opponent, and since he is not going to advance into a mythical age anytime soon, looking at his resources and overall the position on the map, yeah, that's the only thing that he can do if he doesn't want to let his opponent somehow get into the forefront all too much. Looking at the resources, Magic will be advancing into the Mythical Age just about now through Hecate. So that's very nicely played. Controlling on the left, on the right, trying to go for it all fully, but doesn't seem to be having enough push. But looking how he's right. Oh, he's actually switched. He was clicking into Hecate, but switching to Atlas, and that's interesting. Usually you see Hecate as the better choice in here, but he's going for Atlas, and Atlas is having Implosion if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's having Implosion, so we won't be seeing Tartarin Gate, and let's see what kind of advantage is he going to try to take from that. Basically going for the God Power, I would be thinking, as he's probably hoping that he can basically force one battle, destroy the army through the Implosion, which is not really a bad choice, and then he will be able to finish with the TC and take it for himself yet again, and that's some kind of strategy, and could be working for him quite nicely. Let's see and wait. Let's wait and see if it's going to be working like that. Some upgrades into army that just speeds damage for Iron Magic, whereas Kimo is having what? Heavy units and actually the whole baseline, so he's quite better off than his opponent, and that might be making quite a lot of difference in the game to come. So let's see how much of a difference it is actually going to make, and we also finally see a bit of a switch into barracks in here and some axemen against exactly those destroyers, which are owning the buildings and also the chariot archers of Kimo. Magic is switching into full-on archive basically. So that's a combination of Archive with destroyers supported by some Stimfaliambers, and so far it seems to be a pretty strong army as they are doing pretty decent damage. They are still medium, so they definitely could be going for heavy, but they seem to be more than enough, and not even the heavy chariots with all the upgrades are enough in this stage of the game. This is actually a pretty nice positioning by Magic, who is sending a bit of units inside, basically inside the ranks of his opponent, basically trying to disrupt some kind of aiming from the chariot archers, and it seemed to be working quite nicely. And yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking was going to happen, but Kimo was expecting this quite nicely. Very nice reaction, seeing how Atlas was being researched and Implosion cast, and he has been able to actually retreat with quite a lot of chariot archers, and that could be a bit of a problem, but at the same time it's costing quite a lot of chemos, and it's also extra damage into the buildings in here, which will allow Iron Magic to actually take them down all that easier. He should be seeing this, and he needs to be sending just a few destroyers to get rid of those barracks, and he will be in a pretty good position because his opponent won't be having enough barracks himself to deal with the situation at hand. So let's see if this final push, or if this is going to be any kind of final push, Looking how I don't really see all that many siege units or destroyers, I don't think that's going to be it. And it's also a bit of a problem as he has level the trees in here, but unfortunately for him, that doesn't mean that they are losing the wood, and that also means that the camels still won't be able to pass through them. So yeah, that's just a graphic in here, and that's not going to be helping them all that much. Still a pretty huge problem for Kimo, as he's basically not allowed to gather any kind of gold from market. And that's really a big problem for him for the game to come. Still a pretty decent raid in by Kimo as well, who is trying to disrupt exactly the same trade route as Magic is going for his opponent, and oh well. Oh, this is pretty problematic for Magic because he doesn't have any kind of manor just here, and that's quite far away. Those villagers are pretty much dead, at least two of them I would be guessing. Yeah, two already dead, and Magic definitely needs to do something about this if he wants to survive, because without the income from those llamas, and also yeah, he's already stopping in them in here, and those gold gatherers, that's going to be a lot of problem for him. On the left you can see that Kimo has been able to, or rather has been attempting to somehow conquer this gold, but with the Argus in here, yeah, not all that much, but that's just going to take about 1 or 2 priests, and that's going to be it. So yep, Magic will definitely have to do a lot better if he wants to somehow protect that part of the map. Interestingly positioned palace, basically a very offensive building by Magic, who is trying to somehow ascertain actually the rulership of this part of the map, and well, he seems to be doing a pretty good job of that, because since Kimo wasn't able to stop this from being built, that's a bit of a problem for him, because that's quite a lot of extra fire, and if somehow Magic can build extra palace in here, which he probably cannot looking at the straight economy of his, and well, it's still going to be quite a lot of game in here, because still, exactly, I need to repeat this, we don't see enough siege from Magic to actually make any kind of convincing push for the DC, and that's exactly what's going to be needed if he wants to win the game for himself. On the left, still nothing going on, not any kind of claim by Kimo, still a bit of a raiding, right now being disrupted by Dryads and also some extra units, like the heavy Turmas, and I'm kinda thinking that just positioning a few Turmas in here would be just the best, because obviously Turmas are the direct counter to archers like chariot archers, and they will be exactly the correct unit for countering this kind of play. You can also see that Kimo has finally discovered sometime back the gold at the very bottom, so he doesn't need the gold on the left all that much, but since it's going to be coming down reasonably soon, let's switch into Kimo to have a see. Yeah, you can see he's 4,500. He's going to be able to survive for quite some time, but not really indefinitely, and he needs to be thinking a bit forwardish, because if he doesn't, be running out of the gold very soon. Interesting push right now by Magic, because he finally recognized that he needs to build something else than just the Archive. Well, he is building fire siphons. He has been attempting to take the TC down, but with the extra TC support by the mercenaries, that's going to be quite enough for Kimo, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job defending against his opponent so far. But well, defending is not going to be enough. He needs to go into the offensive if he wants to win the game, and he is so far having bronze shields, but copper mail and copper weapons, and now he's looking for Magic. Still just copper shields. That's slightly surprising, as I would be expecting a bit more from him, but well, that's not the case so far. And yeah, this might be a bit of a problem for him, but with extra upgrades, Kimo will of course be having upper hand in the fight, and with the support from the mercenaries, that's going to be just mounting up even stronger. So yeah, some counter-offensive by Kimo right now, who is trying to get rid of the palace, but looking how actually Magic is trying to protect the palace even more by the towers in here. That's going to be quite difficult for him, and even though, oh, this was kind of interesting idea from Magic, who was going through the palace to actually deploy the villagers right next to the siege tower, that's not going to be all that effective for him, because through the chariot archers Kimo is able to get rid of the villies quite nicely, and that's a bit of a problem for Magic. But Magic has been able to take down the siege tower, which was the threat in here, and even though he has rebuilt the TC fully, well, it's still not going to be all that easy, because if he doesn't get rid of this palace and the towers that are being built here, that's, yeah, quite strong beachhead right here, and quite a lot of problems for Kimo to deal with. Let's see. Quite nice raid in by the Symphonian Barret, and he should be seeing all those villagers in here gathering the gold. And if he does, that's of course going to be allowing him to make a dent into the opponent economy quite strongly. So let's see if somehow Magic can push through in here. Already having heavy archive at least, so that's at least some kind of upgrade, but without any extra upgrades. The same as his opponent has. Yet again, that's still a bit of a problem. Let's in the meantime have a look at some kind of economy upgrades. We see Shaft Mine just below. Oh, we are at 26 minutes and he's having just the first upgrades into farms. Azra, and that's definitely not enough, and just Hendax as well. And really, he would definitely be doing a pretty good job. Rather, better job if he went for some extra upgrades, which he isn't, and that's really baffling to me. And I would be guessing that with Magic we'll be seeing quite a lot of extra upgrades. Yeah, we already see Flood Control. That's the Mythical Age upgrade. Gilberry and Carpenters, and that's exactly the reason why he's doing all that good job against his opponent, even through the extra upgrades that Kimo is having on his units. So yep, and that's the reason why Magic is right now doing a bit better job, and also with a better unit choice, because Chariot Archers are of course not going to be working against all the units that Magic is right now using. So Siphon making an appearance in here yet again, trying to take the TC down with a lot of villagers from Kimo, trying to prevent the TC from coming down, and I'm kinda thinking that Magic is in a pretty good spot right now, and will be attempting to take the TC down as fast as he can. He's sending all the extra medium destroyers into the battlefield, and yeah, without taking down the Siphon, which I think is not going to be happening anytime soon, this is a pretty big problem for Kimo, and he will definitely need to do something else if he wants to finish with the game as a victor. You can see on the minimap that he has been able to disrupt the gold gathering and the market at the top, but it seems to be pretty much it. And let's return to the main battlefield, which seems to be pretty much important, or rather crucial for the game at hand, and let's see if somehow Kimo can think of something better than the Chariot Archers to defend with against this onslaught from the Gaia Magic. Well, Magic seems to be doing a pretty good job denying any kind of trade route altogether. Yeah, you can see that Kimo is basically without any kind of goal. Let's switch into his point of view, and yep, he's definitely without any goal. You can see that he is not even at pop at all, and that's basically telling you that he doesn't have enough economy and resources. That's exactly the reason, because he doesn't have any kind of gold in here. Yep, and here we see that he is resigning and recognizing that this game is not going to be turned around for him. So that was actually quite interesting game with .I Magic controlling the map basically from the very start, and well, that was a thing that King Kimo wasn't able to come back from in the long run. He was having some kind of attempts in the middle of the game that weren't really half bad, as he was going for the DC and was having pretty nice position in here with the Migdol. But once the Migdol came down, it was slow but kinda assured road for Magic to ascertain the position on this map, and yeah, this was the most important battlefield, and yeah, it did really work quite nicely in the long run for iMagic, playing Gaia against of Kimo. So let's have a look at the post game in here, with Magic winning total score and economy, but not really all that much. But by all that much, Kimo was doing quite well, and he was playing really well indeed in this game. Nice economy by Gaia, of course, but Gaia is very heavy into eco, and that's of course her strength. And looking at actually the huge amount of extra resources that for 10, 14, and 6, that's 20,000 resources more than Kimo. That's such a that's such a mind-boggling huge amount actually, that you have to be wondering why Kimo didn't lose earlier. That's absolutely huge. It's like a third of the resources of Kimo. Yeah, if Kimo did have those resources, I would be kinda guessing that Kimo would be winning this game and not Magic. But well, Kimo didn't have the upgrades into the economy, and that did make quite a lot of difference because Magic was having all of those, and that's what allowed him to gather all that extra resources above his opponent. Yep, don't forget economic upgrades. Age of Mythology and Age of Empires, they are both about macro and economy first and foremost. Nice military count, but nice units killed by Kimo, but that was because he was fighting with archers next to the buildings for majority of the times. That really inflates the units killed as opposed to military count and such. But he also did lose quite a lot of units, but basically the same as Magic, so that wasn't any kind of difference in there. We need faster advance. That basically allowed Magic to control the TC on the left and deny Kimo. Yeah, the standard that he maybe wanted to play, and that's 2 TC, faster heroic for the heavy chariots, whereas heavy archive for Magic, and quite a lot of Symphony Embers. They did help quite a lot, because it didn't really seem to me that Kimo was fully appreciating how much of a damage they are dealing to his opponents or his units, and he did react kind of slowly in building priests and whatnot, but at the same time he probably didn't have all that much gold for them, so that might be the reason why he was kind of slower in recognizing the threat and reacting to it. Yeah, I can see the huge difference in the resource gathered from Magic. That just makes you pay in the long run. I'm talking about Gaia right now. Yeah, of course on the food there's the bump from the rain, from the extra farm income. And well, that's pretty much it. Well, this was a pretty interesting game between Magic and Gaia then, and since we don't see all that many experts playing Gaia, this has basically shown us the possibilities and how Wobbly Balance Patch 104 has made it all that much more viable for normal play even at the expert levels. So I hope you enjoyed the game as much as I did. If you did like the game, definitely hit the thumb up button below the video and also subscribe for more videos like these. So GG then, I've been Blackadder at Blackadder's Place and see you later.